Hey, this is Michael Dermer, and in this lesson, we're going to be talking about how do you assess your financing needs. How do you figure out exactly how much money you need to get your business off the ground? So let's get into it. So how do you figure out how much money you need when you start your business? Okay? What you've really got to be able to do is be objective with yourself about the dollars it takes to get your business off the ground. Cash is one of those things when you don't have it and you're running your business, it feels like that gymnastic injury you had when you were 8 years old, or the football injury you got in high school. You feel it in every step. So it's super, super important in the beginning of your business to actually figure out the cash you're going to need in the beginning and the early stage of your business. So how do you go about doing that? First is preparing what they call a cash flow statement. And a cash flow statement is essentially a projection of your sources of cash, where you're going to get cash from, right? And your uses of cash, right? So for example, if you're starting up a flower shop, you're going to need cash to bring in the flowers. You need cash for rent. You're going to need cash for all these different things, right? And then you're going to generate cash when you're going to sell flowers, right? And cash can also come from investment. So think of cash flow statement as money coming in and money coming out, okay? When you do that, and as part of that cash flow, right, you have to figure out your startup costs. You have to figure out your costs of getting started, right? So let's say you want to become a filmmaker, right? And you say, great, I'm going to make videos. So what are my startup costs? Well, I might need camera, I might need lighting, I might need green screens, right? I might need all this different stuff to get me off the ground. But I also might have to find a way to do social media to let people know, right, that I'm starting this new business. I need basic things like a website and business cards. I might need insurance, okay? So assessing all these financing costs, and one word of caution, don't kid yourself, right? Your startup costs are always higher than you think they're going to be. So give yourself a little bit of buffer. It's much better to plan for something and to think about it than to kind of kid yourself that your startup costs are not nearly as much as you need them to be. Next is when you're assessing your early needs for cash, where are you going to get that early money, right? Now, it may be nothing other than you fund it yourself. There's lots of great businesses that started with people using their personal credit cards, right? Or you may say, hey, I'm going to ask friends and family for $10,000 to get myself off the ground. But you really have to think about where your early dollars are going to come from, okay? When you're doing this and you're creating your cash flow analysis, right, and your cash flow statement, one thing that's really important is to prepare what they call a sensitivity analysis. And it sounds like a big term, but what it really means is painting different scenarios. So what does that mean? You come up with your plan for how you need cash, right? And you say, as part of that plan, we're going to sell 100 flowers, right? And that's your best guess. But you might say, you know what? Why don't we do a plan, a cash flow forecast, if we sell 50 flowers? Be more conservative. And let's do one where we sell 150 flowers, be more aggressive. And that's what they call a sensitivity analysis. It basically shows different scenarios. So if you don't get it right, which you won't, right, because it's new, you then have a way to kind of bring it all together and you have different scenarios that you can paint. Finally, talk to experts, right? There are many, many, many people that have built business plans and create cash flow forecasts for businesses just like yours. Seek some out, right? You can find them with local business students. You can find them at the SBA. You could find them at your university through your alumni network, right? But the bottom line is that experts have been through this before, right? And they know what you're doing, okay? So when you boil all this together, it comes together in a cash flow statement. And that cash flow statement says to you, what are my cash sources coming in? Where am I generating revenue? Where am I getting investment dollars, right? Those are your sources. And cash going out. And that's mostly your expenses, right? How am I paying for rent or product development or people, right? Or licenses of technology, right? And so on and so forth. Okay? So assessing your financing needs, being realistic with yourself, understanding, this is the amount of money I'm going to need, planning that over a year and sometimes longer for 2 years really sets you on the right path to having a foundation for a really good success. Okay? Remember, in addition to this video, we've got detailed information written out for you on assessing your financing needs right side by side with the video in the midst of this lesson.